Okay, so here we go. All right, don't you love tech issues? Because tech issues are my most favorite of all time. Okay, so welcome to Lunchbox Live. And I am so glad that you are able to join me today. So, this is something that I try to do every Wednesday. I've missed a few Wednesdays because I've actually been facilitating some workshops for a client of mine. So, which was awesome. I got to work with a lot of amazing women and we got to connect on a lot of really cool topics. But Lunchbox Live is where I actually have asked everyone to send me different questions that they might have. And it can be about really anything. It can be about maybe what coaching is, what it's like to be an entrepreneur, how to leave corporate America, how to, deal with mindset issues that come when you become an entrepreneur, all of that. So over the last couple of weeks, I have gotten some questions. I didn't get quite a few. I think I got 3. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those. But I wanted to start out today by talking about something that's kind of on my heart. And I think it's something that I think probably is happening to many of my followers or this audience, or I hate saying my followers. It makes me sound ridiculous, but it happens to a lot of us, and it goes to mindset. So the more you go on social media and or Google or anything technology driven, and you start to look at how can I in my 40s and above change my career or start my own business, whatever you're looking for, you're going to the algorithms like find you. They'll know that you're looking because you're literally telling the computer what is on your mind. Okay. So people are always shocked. Oh my God, I'm being targeted. You're telling them, like literally telling them what you're thinking about. Okay. So there's no chip in your head. You're literally giving them the information. All right. So, which is great when you start getting ads that you like, right? But when it becomes a problem is when you're inundated with information that is incorrect or information that will skew your thought process or information that can be detrimental to your success. And that's what I want to address. So this week's Career Next podcast is all about like debunking 3 digital marketing myths. And the reason why I started to talk more about this is because I'm really dedicated to making sure that the women that work with me and the women that follow me, again with the followers, but don't fall prey to some of these marketing tactics that can be really detrimental to your success. My goal is to help you leave your 9 to 5 and create the business that is, your purpose, your passion, and be able to stay there. I don't want you to fall into a giant amount of debt and then have to go back to corporate in order to pay off debt from what you were trying to do. And I know because it's happening to me in my feed that you're probably getting a lot of the same ads that I'm getting that are promising things that are not true. So, one example of this is I hate to say my favorite example, but it's like the one that really, I guess, sticks in my craw. Do they still say that, or does that mean that I'm like 105? But the one that drives me insane, shall we say, is that you can sell products or services when you have no following or audience. They will say in their ad copy, because they're targeting you, they're targeting women who are looking to start their business or already have a business that might need to grow, right? And they're targeting you and they're saying, don't worry, you can come out and you can start selling from day one, and you can put up a course or slapdash a product and run one little tiny ad on Facebook and become a millionaire. That is not true. If that were true, everyone would do it. So what I'm saying is always ask yourself, does this sound too good to be true? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because what these people, they're calling themselves coaches, and that is something that also gets me just hot under the collar, because they're not coaches. They're not. I'm a trained coach. I went to school for this. There's a talent behind it that not everybody, you don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm a coach. So anyway, I could go off on a tangent about that too. But so what they'll tell you is that, hey, you can go out and start your business with no one knowing who you are. Well, you can't sell a product or service to someone who's never heard of you or doesn't know who or the product or service. Like if they don't know you have it, how are they going to buy it? Okay, number one. Number two, we are inundated with messaging all day long. They call it clutter in the advertising space. It's called clutter. And it's because we can't even go to the bathroom now at a restaurant without having an ad on the back of the door. Okay, so that's clutter. And so it takes time for someone to get to know the product, service, you, whatever it is, get comfortable with it, and they have to see it multiple times. Back in the day, I'm 51. I'll be 52 soon. Back in the day, we had 3 TV stations. Okay, this was even before Fox and the UPN, and it was easier because we didn't have the internet. So messaging wasn't in our face all the time. So they used to say it takes up to 3 exposures, meaning seeing your message, in order to get someone to take an action. Well, now that could be upwards of 20. So if you think you can run an ad on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever else you're going to run it for $100 and get a sale, that is incorrect, because you need what's called frequency, which is someone seeing your ad more than one time. So the number of times someone sees your ad. Okay, so frequency. So you could have a frequency of up to like 7 and still be okay, meaning they saw your ad 7 times. That doesn't mean that they saw and interacted with your ad 7 times. That just means what they were scrolling around, they kind of saw it somewhere. But on average, a 7 is what we need now. So $100 on Facebook or Instagram ain't going to do it. I always say light it on fire, because at least it'll keep you warm on a cold night. If that's what you're going to do, light your 100 on fire or give it to me. I'll gladly take your $100. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I'm seeing a lot of that. That's like the new thing that these people are saying, where they're like, oh, we'll help you do this and you can do it for cheap and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it upsets me because, back when I first started, I'm going to give you a little story about one of those things that I've done that I don't want you to do. And I'm checking to make sure you can hear me. Okay. So here's a story about one of the things that I've done that I don't want you to do. When I first started, and actually it wasn't right when I first started, it was kind of in between time. And I decided to listen to one of those people because I didn't have a core following, right? I didn't have a lot of people, and I was like, I need to make money and yada, yada, yada. So I paid this person thousands of dollars, and I thought that they were going to help me put up a great course and get a following and all of that. And I was going to make the big word, passive income. There's no passive income. You've got to work for it. So, all right. So I went and I did that. And once I got in there, they love bombed me for like a hot second. And then they were like, well, you have to spend thousands of dollars on ads. Well, guess what, guys? I didn't have thousands of dollars to spend on ads. If I did, I would have just done it myself. I thought that they told me they were going to tell me how to do this without that, I thought, right? So long story short, I learned to trust myself and to trust the fact that I know my shit and I know what I'm doing. But it cost me a lot of money to get there. And I did find myself having to pay that off for a while. And I don't want you to do that. No, I'm not saying that you can't leave your 9 to 5 and create this amazing platform. You absolutely can. I can't swear on here, I don't think. That absolutely. Okay. You can. Remember, the woman that created the success that you have right now is the same woman that is going to create the success that you will have as an entrepreneur. But did it happen overnight for you in corporate? Did you wake up one day and just become a vice president? No, you didn't. You did not. You took your time, you learned, you did the work, and then you got there. And that's the same formula over here. You know, a lot of companies that start out, they last maybe 2 to 5 years. And here's the reason. People aren't planning financially for the hit that they'll take for the first 2 years. You have to have a cushion. Okay. I always tell my clients, don't leave until you have a cushion if you can. If you're laid off or something, then you may have gotten a payoff or something. So start right away. But so they don't have a cushion. They weren't prepared mentally for what, they're going to be dealing with. And then also there's so many quote unquote gurus that want to help you, but they're not real. They're not telling you the truth. You buy into their program, then you don't work with them. You work with somebody who works for them. And, in my case, I ended up with somebody that was saying that she wanted to take the summer off and she was trying to teach us all how to take the summer off. Well, that's not what I'm here for. I want to make money, but I love what I do and I am here to do more of it. Obviously, I want to take time off and I want to have money and all that other stuff. But here's the thing. I ain't done, right? And if I'm taking the summer off, that means that I'm coasting and I'm not servicing the people who have entrusted me with their time and their money and their passion and their purpose, right? So just be careful because there's like the big gurus out there that you're going to hear a lot from. And then there's the little dudes that you're going to hear a lot from. So whether or not you ever work with me, and I wish, I hope you do because it's my heart, but it's okay. It's okay. Find somebody that works for you and like is a great fit for you and work with them, because I'm not saying you don't need help. You don't want to go it alone. Don't go it alone because, having someone that knows the road and can get you there faster and can take the wheel for you while you're trying to figure out the map, right? Or actually can give you the map, whatever that analogy I'm trying to use is, you're going to go much, much farther, much, much faster, but it's got to be the right person. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I just want you to guard against that. You can't take a shortcut. There are no shortcuts. And if someone tells you that there's a shortcut, just be wary of that. Be wary of that. Okay. And if you're not ready to spend money on ads, please don't let someone tell you that you should be running ads. And if you don't know where your target audience spends time, definitely don't be running ads. Okay. All right. Now, tangent over. Let me step down from my soapbox and let's answer some of these questions. One person did ask me about where they should be spending, their time. So they're looking to, and they're still in corporate, so we're not going to say any names, but they're looking to leave and they're looking to kind of like create a plan for themselves to do that. So what's the roadmap? And they were like, I'm not ready to actually like launch a business, but I just need to start thinking about this. So I love that. Number one, I love the fact that you're thinking this through and that you're starting now, because that's the best way to do it if you can. So, spending the time that you have in the current position that you have, preparing yourself for an exit is really strong. It's a strong way to start. So the first thing that I would say is kind of just start, and I've talked about this before, start spending less. So start creating your budget of what you think you might need to live on, and then add, a big buffer because things are going to come up that you don't recall. And don't forget to add time for vacation, because guess what? You're going to need a vacation. You're going to be working hard. So start on a budget, work with your financial planner if you have one. If not, I would get one just because they can help you with this. But start thinking about that and then live off of that budget because you want to make sure that the budget's actually correct before you pull the trigger. Okay. So that's where I would start. And then while you're doing that, sit down and think about whatever the business is that you're thinking of creating, and just have fun. Have fun with, start Googling, seeing who's doing what. If there's somebody in your space, how are they doing things? Who's their audience? What does their audience look like? How are they positioning themselves? And then think about how you would want to position yourself. And there's many other steps after that, but that's like the very, very beginning. And then I would say, go ahead and get my guide if you want. There's the free checklist, or you can get the full guide for $37. Or you know what? Call me. We can have a 20-minute free consultation. Happy to help. But if you can take that time in the beginning, then take that time and start with your budget. That is key. Start with your budget. This is a good one. Somebody asked, Amanda, what makes you different than anybody else? And I think they mean any other coach that they've seen, probably because of right when I was talking about like who ends up in your feed. So this is a great question, because it's one of those things that makes me go, but I think everybody would love to say, well, I make myself unique. I'm different. And you know what? That is partially true. That it's me and it's my experience, and that, my training, all of that makes me different. But there are other people that have the same experience and the same training that I do. So what absolutely makes me different? I would say what makes working with me different, let's put it that way, is that when you work with me, you're working with me. You're not working with somebody that works for me. You are literally working with me. And when I respond to you, it's literally me. It's not some bot. But also, I would say what makes me different is that I am there to help you create your business, and then also to grow your business, meaning that I'm with you from day one, or even before day one, because you're still in your corporate position, all the way through success time. And how I do that is I help you develop your business idea, and I walk you through the steps of doing that and how I did it, but also some of the steps that are just like things that you need to do in order to make sure you're set up correctly. And then I also help you with marketing and advertising. So meaning that I look at your website, help you write your website, make sure that it's written in a way that is going to speak to your audience. I look at your LinkedIn page, because that's actually, as an entrepreneur, really important, believe it or not. I help you write that. I make sure you have a company page on LinkedIn. I make sure that when people are Googling you, that you look correct, that you have a business page. I help you with your search engine optimization. I tell you what you should do there or who you can hire. These are all things that my clients have opportunity to be a part of. So I'm not just here for mindset as a coach. I'm also here to help you with the tactical things, and it's more of a mentor kind of thing for your marketing and advertising. So that's kind of what makes me different. I'm actually in the process of creating online courses so when my clients work with me, they'll work with me one-on-one, and then in between sessions, they'll be taking the courses, in between our sessions. So then we can talk about those types of things. So it'll be everything from, I guess the best way to put it would be nuts to bolts. Right now, we do it one-on-one, and we work on it one-on-one. We're still going to work on it one-on-one, but they're going to have the addition of the actual course that they will own for a lifetime of working with me. So I guess that I would also like to say it's my heart and my passion for this. And it honestly, it is, but I know that there are other coaches that have a heart and passion for it. And I'm also not looking to be a millionaire. I don't want to grow this thing to the point where I don't get to talk to you. That's not my gig. It's not who I am. So, I guess that's what makes me a little bit different too. And the third question that I have is, if you already have a business. Okay, so If you already have a business, the question is, what can you do in order to scale that business? And that's kind of like an overarching question. It's a little amorphous because I don't know what your business is or where you're at right now. Call me. We can do the 20-minute consultation. I'd love to help you. But from just a generic standpoint, for growing your business and what I've seen with my clients, many times my clients don't have funnels built. So what I mean by that is sometimes people don't know what a funnel is, but basically a funnel is when someone comes into your universe or they're aware of you, then maybe they sign up for your newsletter or they sign up for a product or they purchase a product or a service and then people lose contact with them. They lose that connection. So then they have to warm them back up later. That's what I mean by funnel. So they don't keep that connection warm. Okay. So they're constantly like refilling with new people, and it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money, honestly, to keep doing that. So to scale a business, I would say really leaning into your following your awareness as to who you already have, but then modeling conversation or modeling services or products around what that ecosystem already loves, because those are the types of people that you know are going to actually be those that will spend money with you. Generically, that's the best thing I can say. So doing an audit on how you communicate to the people that have already been a customer or are in your universe would be my first step. So an audit of the communication. But again, happy to help you. Just go to my website and you can go to the coaching application and just sign up for a 20-minute consultation. And I would love to have a conversation and see if I can give you a little bit more, I guess, concise and detailed answer. So for those of you that actually send me the questions, I really appreciate it. And for those of you that have watched this, I really appreciate it. I will be back next Wednesday for Lunchbox Live at noon on LinkedIn and on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram at 12:30. And you can always follow me on any of those platforms at Amanda Her Coaching. You can always also, go to my website, amandahercoaching.com. And I do just want to mention that my Accelerate Next program is starting in beginning of June. There is still like some availability there. It's not a lot of availability because it's a very small program for the summer. But what Accelerate Next is a group coaching program where you meet with the group of women that are very similar to yourself, entrepreneurs just starting or entrepreneurs already in the field. And you meet twice a month together. You meet with me once a month on a detailed playbook that we create together. And you have access to me through Voxer. So during certain office hour times, and we work together to accelerate your business, hence the name, forward. So it's small for the summer. I usually have a larger group, but we're going to do it real small for the summer. And it's a very high touch program where I actually am right in there with you and we're doing this thing together. So if you want more information about that, you can go to my website. It's up on the nav. It's called Accelerate Next. So thank you again. I hope you all have a great day, and make sure to check out my podcast that dropped today, Career Next, on all of the larger podcast platforms. Have a great night, everyone.